Hey guys, Rusty over here, and today I wanted to give you a quick updated guide on how to solo Mythic Child of Valor, as with the Shadowlands pre-patch, a couple things behave a little bit different compared to when I made the last guide, which was back, I think, actually near the start of BFA. Jeez, that was a while ago. Anyways, let's just get right into the guide. Now, the first boss is going to be Mythic Odyn, and the main mechanic that might make this fight challenging for you is that whenever Helya, Heimdall, or Odyn are near each other, they will take 99% reduced damage. Now, during Shadowlands, it is actually possible to DPS them through that shield. However, that's not too practical for the first phase. That will be more handy for the second phase. So, let's go over the first phase. Now, the bosses will do two abilities, Horn of Valor and Shield of Light. Now, when Heimdall casts his Horn of Valor, immediately start booking it to the other end of the room with Helya. This will split them up long enough, giving you at least, I think it's 4 or 5 seconds of DPS time on Helya, and you want to bring her down as close as you can to 25% HP as possible, but not quite there yet. By the way, you phase the boss, this phase, by getting both of the adds to 25% HP. They'll do a long channel. To get that channel off, they'll heal to full, so you can do it at the same time. Now, wait for Helya to cast her Shield of Light. Same thing. Pull Heimdall to the other end of the room and DPS him. Now, if at this point you can get him to 25% HP before Helya gets back, definitely do it. If not, you can wait and just wait for Heimdall to do Horn of Valor again. So again, guys, this phase is pretty much just keep splitting them up every time they cast their main abilities. DPS them down evenly to 25% HP in your phase. By the way, if you get the Unerring Blast that Odyn will do, which will spawn the adds, don't even worry about it. At this point in Shadowlands, even with around even lower item levels, I'm talking around 200, 210 item level, right? Not below that, right? I don't know why you're doing soloing Mythic TOV at that item level. That blast will do very little damage, and then the adds, once the blast goes off, you could just go ahead and kill them off. Now, once you're in the second phase, Odyn will hop down, immediately drag him to the far end of the room. Now, the main mechanic here is that Helya and Heimdall will eventually spawn, again, making the boss immune to damage, or 99% reduced damage, that being the key. Now, when Helya comes down, there's a couple ways you can handle this. If you're fast mobility, you can immediately get over to Helya and DPS her before she even becomes immune. However, if the bosses get close to each other and they take that 99% reduced damage, again, guys, you can actually DPS Helya through the shield, since I believe you only need to get to her, I forgot if it's 90 or 85% HP. It's something really easy to do. You can very quickly DPS her through her shield. Now, once you do that, use all your DPS cooldowns here, guys. This is the hardest phase. Get rid of Helya, and then push Odyn into his second phase. You could honestly, do that. Just push them right through that second phase. Now, once you get into the third phase, there's really not too much to note. Just don't stand on the lit up parts on the ground, not that big of a deal. And don't get hit by the tornadoes. If you do, you'll get knocked up way high in the air, and the fall damage actually is lethal if you do not have something to survive fall damage. So again, guys, just to reiterate, the first phase, split the bosses up when they do their main abilities, DPS them to 25% evenly. The second phase, just get rid of Helya and Heimdall if he comes down as soon as possible, either being fast mobility and splitting them up, or by simply just popping all your DPS cooldowns and just DPSing Helya or Heimdall through the shield until they piss off, and then you can go ahead, push Odyn to his phase 3, don't get hit by tornadoes, you're done with Odyn. Let's move on. Now, the next boss is going to be the dog Guarm, and this boss is really easy, guys. There's really only one mechanic to note here that might get you killed, and that's going to be matching different colors. Now, there's two ways you can match different colors. That's by soaking the breath or through the foam debuffs. Now, guys, I recommend don't even bother soaking the breath at all if it can be avoided. Sometimes you can get stunned in the breath, which is unfortunate. Nothing you can do about that. However, the way you take the damage is going to be through the foam debuffs. The boss will put a different color debuff on you a few seconds into the fight, which will mark you with a color. For example, I don't know, red. If you get the different color foam debuff on you, which is completely random, and when it expires, it puts a different color on you, you will take a large chunk of damage. Just use some kind of defensive cooldown or a health potion, right? And you should be just fine. But honestly, guys, if you were super geared doing this, right, you could kill the boss before, honestly, before the debuff even expires. But the first one shouldn't kill you, and as long as you don't consistently soak breaths, or at the very least, make sure if you're gonna soak the breath, you soak the breath as the same color as your debuff, so you don't take that burst of damage. There's really not too much to note. The boss will also knock you up in the air. You'll take some fall damage. It's not lethal though, as long as you're healthy. Right? He will also charge around the room doing some damage. I purposely got hit by it. It did very little damage. Point being, guys, you really just go in here, kill Guarm, try and match the colors as much as you can. It's really just that simple. Moving on to Mythic Helya, and we're gonna fuck her with her own tentacles. Now, this boss, guys, Leech Gear is going to be your absolute best friend for this boss. Even if you have to drop a few item levels to put Leech Gear on, put leech gear on. I'm going to say it one more time, guys, just to make sure we got this through our heads. Put frickin' leech gear on. It is very, very good for this boss. Now, first, there are two mechanics that are prevalent now that really weren't before the Shadowlands pre-patch, hence why the old guide was out of date. First one being a little bit smaller, and that's going to be the Taint of the Sea debuff in the first phase of the fight. Now, as shortly into the fight, she'll put Taint of the Sea on you, which is a permanent debuff that slowly ramps up its damage over time, so it eventually just kills you, technically. However, guys, as long as you're using leech gear, and you're always hitting something, this debuff isn't that big of a deal. However, if you are super geared, you could actually phase the boss to 66% HP, right, to phase 2, before she even puts the debuff on you. So again, two ways to handle this: either just completely ignore it and heal through the damage, or DPS her quick enough into the the second phase before she even puts the debuff on you. However, guys, in my opinion, you're better off saving your DPS cooldowns for the last phase. More on that later, though. You'll see why. Now, the second phase is pretty much the same as it was before the pre-patch. You're going to keep killing off tentacles. Now, the way this fight worked when it was current is that you have to kill the tentacles evenly to phase her at the proper times. However, since you're soloing this, for the most part, that's going to be impossible. When they spawn on the platforms to the side, when they're close and back, you can. However, if you cannot kill them evenly, not that big of a deal. Essentially, guys, I wouldn't worry too much about the mist caller ads. Obviously, if you're near them, you definitely want to kill them off. Your DPS priority is kill tentacles, kill tentacles, kill tentacles. Now, when they spawn in front of the boss, it is definitely possible to kill them evenly. So if you can, do kill them evenly. However, if you can't, it's not that big of a deal. Also, make sure you're killing off the Grime Lord and the Ancient Mariner. And just keep going back and forth to the platforms and keep killing off the tentacles. Eventually, they will also spawn in the back. Same thing in the front. If you could kill the tentacles evenly, definitely do it. By the way, I guess I should mention, every time you're not in the upper platforms, you'll be consistently getting pushed back by waves. That will be consistent since you are soloing. Just not that big of a deal. Just don't get pushed into the water by the front of the boss, or I guess that wouldn't really make sense. Basically in the back of the room, as the dot, if you're in that water, will kill you very quickly. So again, guys, this phase is really just kill tentacles. Now, obviously, the more mobile you are, the easier this is. However, guys, even the most immobile class can do this phase. Just take your time. If you have leech gear, heal yourself up by hitting ads, right? And just kill tentacles. Even if you have to do it one at a time, you will eventually phase the boss into phase 3. So, once the boss is in the phase 3, she is going to do two very big mechanics. By the way, pop all your DPS cooldowns, bloodlust everything here, absolutely nuke the boss. It is possible to kill her before you even get to these mechanics. Now, the first one, basically both of them, is going to be the Corrupted Breath. Once she breathes on you, you'll basically become immune to healing for, I think it's about 10 seconds. Now, swirlies are going to immediately spawn after she breathes on you with her disgusting breath, and once these swirlies land after a few seconds, they will explode, putting another debuff on you, which absorbs some healing taken. Now, if this debuff expires on Mythic difficulty, you will immediately be mind controlled, and you will wipe, and the boss will reset. Now, for whatever reason, this was not happening before the Shadowlands pre-patch, but now it is, hence why I needed to make the updated guide. So, there's the issue with this, though. You will also have the healing reduction on you that makes you immune to healing, that debuff. However, that debuff will expire, giving you, I think it's about 2 to 3 seconds to heal yourself up, either with spiritual healing potions, your own self-heals, or, in my opinion, the best way to do it, leech gear, guys. Leech gear and legacy content is really good. Since you are doing more damage, right, you will leech for more and just heal yourself up, or you could just be a demon hunter, right, or a class that has high leech, and just heal through that absorb shield before it expires, and you get mind controlled. Now, if you are super geared, you can simply, it is very, very easy, guys, especially if you're using the Heart of Azeroth, to just nuke the boss and kill her before that debuff even expires, right? Hence why you want to save all your DPS cooldowns and lust for this phase, as this is definitely going to be the hardest phase, in my opinion. Anyways, for this phase, guys, just to reiterate, you will be immune to damage once she breathes. Swirlies will explode, putting a healing absorb on you. Once the healing immune debuff expires, heal yourself through the absorb shield as soon as possible before you get mind controlled, and then you simply just kill the boss. Or if you're super geared, save all your DPS cooldowns, right? Heart of Azeroth again if you have it, and nuke her before that's even an issue. Simple enough, you have now soloed Mythic Helya. And that's pretty much it, guys. Again, Odyn and Guarm are, for the most part, an absolute joke to solo. Mythic Helya, as long as you understand the mechanics, and mainly in the last phase, again, is really easy to solo. I say probably around 200 item level should be able to do this, no problem. Anything below that, you might run into some problems. Again, even around 200 item level, really depends how itemized you are in terms of stats, right? But, I mean, like, if you're around 209 level, what are you doing soloing Mythic 2v anyways? Go get more gear. Go get more gear. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, do feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer all of them as best as I can. I really do hope this guide helps you out a little bit. I hope this is a little more updated compared to the older one that I had out. I'll probably put that in the title that the other one is outdated. I already pinned the comment to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you liked the video, throw it a like, sub to the channel if you're not already. And remember, Halo 3, as always, is the best Halo, and that's just a fact. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.